Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate through their awakening process. And I got this question, I'm going to think of how it was said. It was something to the effect of, Victor, what do you do when you shine or you show people the light and they run away or attack you? Now, that question obviously sums up a very common predicament that a lot of us find ourselves in. We find that we're going through an awakening. We have this growing sense that we want to help people, that we are here, in fact, to help people. We look around at the people in our life, and then we go and we try to help them, and we realize no one really wants help. People don't like being given advice, you know? And sometimes when you try to help someone, they're actually cruel to you, and you trigger them by bringing up a bunch of things they could be working on to improve their life. They're not ready to deal with it, and therefore they project a lot of their own resentment for themselves onto you, and you feel it in a sensitive way, and it's just a big mess. And you're like, well, screw them. I don't want to help anybody. Why would I help them? Why would I help all these dark, miserable people? And for me, I was in the same exact scenario. I shared the same exact frustration because I did the exact same thing. And the way I was able to sort of come to peace with it is to just redefine my approach and my understanding of what it really means to help. It sort of goes back to the very simplistic fundamentals of a lot of the religions. Unconditional love. Not conditional. Not, I'm going to try to help you and I expect you take my advice because I'm putting in all this effort. That's conditional. It's unconditional. You being the best person, being loving, being helpful, regardless of the outcome. Because that's the most you can do. You can't make people change. I was a personal trainer. I can tell you that for a fact. You can't make people change. Sometimes people will pay you to help them change, and if they're not going to do it themselves, there's only so much. There are limitations to what you can inspire in other people to actually do for themselves. But that's okay. That's the whole thing, man. It's not important that you get anyone to do what you think they need to do. In fact, I've sort of steered away from even giving people advice and explaining a lot of the concepts that are very natural to me, like just being a spiritual person, tuning in, being loving, being meditative. There is a mass awakening, raising a vibration, all those things. I don't really go out and tell people because I found it to be pretty ineffective. A lot of people thought I was kind of strange for bringing up these sorts of things, and I realized that most people aren't really ready to hear that. But because I had that desire to help, I was not satisfied in just not helping, not trying. So I learned that the better ways to help are just to be an example, to work on yourself, and to let go of the expectation that you need to help X amount of people. And just being more of an example of unconditional love, unconditional compassion, turning the other cheek. That's not easy. These are all spiritual concepts that we've all heard, but the application of them in the face of intense negative energy from other people, that's a whole other story, and it's not easy, and it's very tempting and easy to get frustrated. I get frustrated all the time. But I do my best. That's all I can do. That's all any of us can do. I do my best. I actually work at it. I don't use the situation as an excuse to not try or to just resent other people. I acknowledge the fact that we're living at a time where there is a myriad of different soul ages. You could say that's just an idea. I'm not meaning that literally. I mean there's different levels of maturity, spiritual maturity. Okay, you have a lot of people who are able to come to reconcile the idea of doing like a suicide bombing. Okay, people that make sense to that resonates with some people, and there's other people like spiritual people like us in a sense that the idea of being mean to someone for no reason, even like being condescending, is so hurtful, and we see the impact it has. And there's just this big wide range. So for one, I've given up on the idea of helping anybody and everybody. I found that there are people that are sort of on teetering, people that can kind of go either way. People that on one hand are attracted to the light, to the concepts, examples, energies of lightness, love, type of energies, but they also have the easy tendency to revert back into their conditioning and sort of go and lower their vibration. They're just kind of like, they're not really sure, they're on the fence basically. Those are the kind of people I find are much more able to be helped. And I found that the best way for them is to let them do their own thing, not get any like expectation of what I really hope she makes it. I really hope she decides to get her shit together, because I can see the potential in them. It can be sort of sad to see the potential in someone and then watch them turn the other way. I've experienced that too. But I've learned it's not cool, it's not my place to try to meddle in with exactly what people need to do. And it can be very challenging when it's someone you love, my best friend. You know, people talk about like twin flames all the time. And I still haven't made a video because I'm not really educated on the subject, but I have read a little bit about it. And I have twin flame signs for like a guy friend of mine, my buddy Derek. We are just like, we can never shake each other out of each other's life. We've gone through almost every weird life challenge together. And I see the potential in him. He's way extremely intellectually gifted, just real charming, good-looking guy, could do anything he wanted, and has that ability to, kind of like me, like talk to people and lift people up. And it's been really hard watching him sort of like fade out of my life. You know, he succumbed to like drug addiction and just sort of go down this other path when I could see he's right there. He could totally do it, but and I would try to change him and try to give him opportunities. Hey man, I got you a job, you know, I try to like hook him up. But that was more me trying to help him for me, because I didn't want to see him experience pain and suffering. It hurts me, so I want to change him, but that's more for me. As a soul who's probably had thousands of lifetimes, if it's in his soul's best interest, in the context of his soul evolution, to experiment with things that I would rather not witness, that's his prerogative and that's his right. It's not my right to go and infringe upon that path that he is choosing. So essentially, as you continue on your path, you'll start to just naturally see situations from a different vantage point. Not a better, just more of a broader vantage point. More, again, encompassing the soul's journey and not looking at it in such a myopic, this character's name, brother, whatever, lifetime. Because there's more to this lifetime for them. And they've chosen their path based on the context of their whole soul's evolution, and there's a rhyme and a reason for it, even if you see people you love descending into darkness left and right. So it's sort of a complex topic, and all I can really do in this situation is share my own experience, what I've learned, and the way I can come to peace with it and still not get so jaded and just give up on everybody is, again, to have an unconditional approach, do my best to help and to spread love and share my ideas when I see the situation might be receptive to them, because sometimes it's not my place. But then at the same time, not having expectations. I do this to the best of my ability. It's not easy to not hope for someone to help themselves if they mean a lot to you, obviously. But I work at that. I work at accepting their path, regardless of what it is, regardless of what I think about it, regardless of what I think it should be. It's not my place. We are individual spirits here, having our own unique journey. A lot of these journeys we know nothing about and really have no business, don't have accurate perspective of knowing what people actually really, truly need. So what do when you shine your light and people run away? You let them run. When they lash out at you, you move on to somebody else. You have the right to not be harmed by people's negative energy. Don't keep running into a brick wall, you know. A lot of people are not here to ascend. Most of us know that. It's obvious. There's a separation occurring. Some who are raising, others are descending and lowering. Whether that's actually the case, or the ones who are raising experience this separation, regardless, there's two trains and they're going in opposite directions. But there are those ones who are kind of in the middle that could very well go either way. And for those, I like to just be an example. That's the most effective way. I can't say it enough. Is just simple common deeds of being a genuine human being, being courageous and loving. That is the most effective approach I've come across to date. Because people respond to that on like a deeper level. They can't help but witness the divinity in someone expressing love and compassion. And that indirectly brings up a lot of self-awareness in that person, and a lot of inner contemplation and introspection, and can have a very profound effect even though on the surface you didn't really tell them anything. So I know I was a little bit all over the place. I still think I'm going to put this video up because I think a lot of the things I touched on were valuable and maybe helpful to a lot of you guys. You let me know in the comment section below. And if you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up. I felt at a loss of what to talk about today, so I picked this question just randomly. So hook me up with some good questions, guys. I'd love to talk about it. I'm making a video every single day now if you haven't gathered. And so regardless, one way or another, I will talk to you tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Peace.